principal focus that I have set for myself is a very high focus towards intellectual capital. Now, what does it really mean for all of you? What it means is, see, all of you at some point of your time, right? Today you might be at a level or at a position or at a place where you would be earning X amount of rupees. You would have a goal that, okay, if you reach Y, you are golden. Say you want to buy a Mercedes Benz, for example, or you want to buy a yacht, or you want to buy a home in OMR, or you want to buy a Rolex watch, right? So there are goals that we associate. There are financial goals, right? But all along, what I have seen is financial capital always follows intellectual capital. You can never take away the fact that we have to garner intellectual capital. This is more applicable because we are all in the knowledge-based industry. If it is a manufacturing industry, then I won't say this, right? If it's a knowledge-based industry, in the knowledge-based industry, your focus should be what is it that I am learning every day, because today whatever you are learning is useless tomorrow. Whatever you know today is useless tomorrow. I've seen so many people in the IT industry who come in and tell to me that I have 13 years of experience, so I know everything. Actually, that statement itself, clearly says what he knows and what he doesn't know. Right? So, as you gain in experience, as you gain in power, as you gain in the financial returns, your learning actually comes down completely. This is something that I have personally seen. I have put a stop to it, and I am very proud to say that I have put a stop to it. But my request to all of you guys is not to put a stop there. Because the day that you put a stop towards your learning, the day will be, the doomsday for all of you guys. So, a very high focus towards intellectual capital is very, very important for anybody who is aspiring to grow up. You got to learn. You got to learn through people. You got to learn through books. You got to learn through actions. You got to learn through your mistakes. You got to learn through what you have gone through in life. You got to learn through every channel possible, and you got to be open about it. How many of you know J.K. Rowling?
Harry Potter.
Yeah. Can you tell to the audience who J.K. Rowling is?
She's the author for Harry Potter and series.
That's all?
She was not a very person when she started writing. She had a divorce. And after she started writing, she is richer than a king right now.
Okay, yeah, correct. You are totally right. So J.K. Rowling gave a lecture recently in Harvard, right? And the prominent takeaway of her lecture was, to all the Harvard MBAs and all the Harvard students was, you got to develop a mindset to accept failures. You all are successful here today after getting an admission to Harvard, after competing with the system globally, and are coming out successfully. But all of you should have a mindset for failure, because the real life will give you only failures. So you need to ensure that you come out successfully by embracing failures, because she is a failure herself. Her marriage ended in a divorce. She had a very tough professional life. She never succeeded in her career. She started writing at the age of 40. She was not a successful person by any stretch of imagination, by the society that gave to her, right? The society where she lived. But she had immense self-confidence that she could scale up from nothing to something. And today she is one of the top 10 richest person. But that doesn't matter, because she didn't write Harry Potter thinking that she's going to become the top 10 richest woman. She wrote Harry Potter because she liked writing Harry Potter, and she believed in the power of imagination. It is not a mean feat. Coming out of failure is not a mean feat. Coming out of success is easy. You have a great education, you do everything, doing something is very easy. But when you have failed throughout your life and coming out from there is very tough. So the point that I am harping here is, if you have a great belief in your intellectual capital, when I mean intellectual capital, I don't mean IQ, I don't mean EQ, or I don't mean intelligence. I mean in the sphere where you are in, are you able to exercise your upstairs, as in your brain? In whatever you do, are you able to use your brain? That is what I mean by intellectual capital. I don't mean you can have an IQ of 200, but if you don't think in what you are doing, that IQ is pretty much useless. You get what I'm saying? So, focus on the intellectual capital that you are doing. You don't need anybody to say that. You are doing every day something or the other. Are you using your mind effectively to do that? It's something that you need to ask. I don't need to ask. You need to ask for that. And the link, anagram is EWYT. What is it? Can anybody say Chandra Babu? Yeah. The linked anagram is desire what you deserve. Very simple statement, very thought-provoking. Because a lot of people, a lot of us always want something to achieve, right? We want to be there. We want, if I ask all of you here, I'm sure I'll get an answer. I want to become a CEO. I want to become a tech architect. I want to become a principal architect in Oracle. I want to do this. I want to do great. I'm very happy to hear such type of goals. But desire what you deserve is when you put a goal there. The goal is not a fantasy. The goal is also a checkpoint to understand where you are right now and what you can do to get there. The goal is not to say, okay, you know what, great, I have a goal, I want to go there. That's not the goal. The goal is to create a checkpoint in yourself for you to ask, okay, you know what, I'm here right now. If I want to become a CEO of a company, what should I do? Not just thinking, okay, I want to become a CEO of the company, but working towards it. So desire what you deserve is a very, very powerful, statement. And I want all of you guys to think about it, because a lot of times, and again, I don't want you to think about it in the context of what you are doing right now. I want you to think about it in the context of what you are thinking. Right? There is a big difference between these two. Right? Integrity. Again, one of the fundamentals, one of my favorite, characteristics. Whenever I go to all colleges, I'm associated with a non-profit organization, and we conduct regular, youth leadership awards and stuff like that. I'm one of the judges for that. So a lot of girls, young girls and young boys from engineering colleges, they talk a lot about honesty, integrity, and stuff like that. Integrity is one of my favorite this thing. The reason why integrity is my favorite character in this thing is, it goes from a scale of absolute to relative. Can anybody answer that? What do I mean by a scale of absolute to relative? Integrity is one characteristic that moves from a scale of absolute to relative. What do you mean by that?
There's something that a lot of people around you do. You may enter that group thinking that something is X is right or wrong. Say if you think X is right, then the rest of the group, all of them practice X is wrong. In course of time, you also get to believe that it's wrong. You kind of, your mindset moves. You condone it, and it slowly starts taking a different shape.
partially right, as in not